So, Katie, let's talk first about the big takeaways from tonight.
Yeah, and Adrienne, there's one way to sum it up. During the debate, I got a text message from a very senior source inside Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's office, and the source said to me, quote, "This is painful to watch." The really big headline that's coming out of this debate is related to Joe Biden's performance tonight. It was the president that wanted to have this debate in these terms, and his goal was to sort of meet the moment, to demonstrate to Americans who are concerned that he might be too old to run for re-election, that he's energetic, that he's in control, and he is the person ready to lead this country into the future. Joe Biden sounded hoarse. His energy level appeared to be low, and at multiple points during the debate, he lost his train of thought.
We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
So Joe Biden there, we do know that Joe Biden has a stutter. He talks about it, it's something he deals with. But that answer sort of a summation of some of the performance that Joe Biden delivered tonight. Now, when it comes to Donald Trump does what Donald Trump often does. He speaks with confidence, he had energy, but so much of what he said tonight is absolutely not factually correct. He was asked by the moderators if he would accept the outcome of the 2024 election. And in his response, he once again lied about the results of the 2020 election, about his claims about voter fraud.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these. But the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do.
So Canadians who might not have sat there and watched the entire debate, the big takeaways you need to know for heading into tomorrow and where this is going to go next. Joe Biden, it was a difficult night where his energy level didn't meet the bar where he was hoping to display confidence, energy, and being extremely competent, heading forward, being the right man to lead the United States. Donald Trump did what he often does, saying things that are not factually correct, but he said it in a way with confidence, with energy. And so these will be the questions for the American voting public to grapple with, these two candidates that polls show no one really wanted to be running in this race.
There's another question, too, Katie. I mean, CNN hosted and moderated this debate. That was a first for a presidential debate. I have to say, though, that there are questions about, you know, did CNN do its job? Was the fact-checking accurate? Sometimes they were asking about oranges, and the answers were about lobsters.
And that is going to be a big question going forward. Remember, it was the Biden campaign that put it out there saying, we don't want to do the presidential debate commission. We want this new format. The moderators asked questions. They did not push the candidates when it came to fact checking. And that is something that Democrats are going to be complaining about. We're already sort of seeing a little bit, but that will come up. But to give you a sense of just how hands off these moderators were in this debate, the conversation devolved into a debate about golf at one point.
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
there is a cost of living crisis. There is an immigration crisis. There are questions about the future of democracy in America. And there was a chunk of time dedicated to the candidates fighting about golf scores. Adrienne.
Absolutely. All right. Katie Simpson in Atlanta. Thank you. So now let's bring in Paul Hunter, who's in Washington. Paul, can we focus for a moment on Biden's performance? How big of a challenge will this be for Biden, for the Democratic Party going forward? What kinds of questions are they asking now?
You know, I mean, performance and optics aren't everything, but in politics, Adrienne, you know well, they're very big things. And I think it's fair to say even Biden supporters would agree this was a very painful night, especially those first many minutes. And, you know, after all the buildup, all the talk about how he's got to demonstrate, he's got gumption and energy, mental acuity, for him to walk out the way he did, perform the way he did, energyless, you know, the gravelly voice, losing his train of thought, mixing up words, to do all the things that Trump and his supporters have mocked and memed to death, you know, what's the word? Gobsmacking, right? The question is, could it be that Democrats now have to reconsider and that they have to look elsewhere for a candidate at this point? Is that even possible? Technically, yes, but what a leap, right? But what is the alternative, given what we saw tonight and given the stakes in this election? Surely it has to be a conversation among Democrats at this point. Otherwise, Joe Biden has 4 months to undo all of the above. The question already is, can he? To be fair, he stepped it up a notch when it came to Trump's character. I think, you know, Trump, the morals of an alley cat, he said, right? But all of a sudden, as if Biden and Democrats are back on defense over Biden's age, that one great big weak spot that they knew all along. And here it is, front and center on tonight's giant stage. Look, Biden got credit for his energy and vim and vigor at the State of the Union address back in January. Tonight, no auto cue, no script, and with exceptions at times, this was not the Joe Biden we saw in the State of the Union. And I just add, in terms of Trump, I think it's fair to say, certainly relative to his debates last time around, that he was disciplined tonight and restrained, facts aside. But that's not unusual for Trump anyway. It was Trump who said to Biden near the end, I think after when they were bickering about golf, Trump said to Biden, let's not act like children. Bottom line for Biden, it was just hard to watch. And yeah, I suspect Biden supporters are staring at the ground right now and wondering, now what?
All right. Paul Hunter in Washington. Thank you, Paul.